It's a beautiful spot. When I come out here and we look along the side of the banks for crabs, and I tell the kids, Charlie's here, and they chase the crabs and call him Charlie. It was his territory. When we were crabbing, we'd have a big cook-up with a big bucket. We could camp anywhere and sleep anywhere. So we were the best campers, and you were able to just grab your few things and come, make a fire, sit down, catch your food, cook your food, eat it. Clean up and go, you know, or stay the night. Your parents watch the tide for the food, knowing when there's going to be a lot and when there's not going to be any. They were able to read the river, know the river. Well, there's a lot of history before, you know, I was born. We all know that Noongas would have just camped along the river banks, and I know my grandparents were part of that. And we all know the river was just like a road, you know, it was that pathway to wherever they wanted to go. It was just plain and simple survival, you know, trying to find a place in your country, in your world. Before we moved to Bunbury, we lived in Pingelly in the wheat belt. I was born in Pingelly. I'm the fourth of 9 kids, 7 girls and 2 boys. Pingelly was living in the camps, and the whole extended family, my grandmother's family living on the reserve, and her father living in his own block of land in his house next door. So it was a huge community of being forced off the land and onto the reserve and living with an ablution block with a shower, 1 tap for hundreds and hundreds of Noongas families. We lived there, we had our camp and we carted water. Walked for miles, carted our water to wash and to drink and everything else. Went to school, come home to have dip and damper for lunch. We didn't have any food. Black tea to go with it, wash it down. And then Dad would go out and onto the farmers, and they would let us live in a wool shed, sheep shed, or we'd just have to camp on the side of the road or just basically made a home wherever we could. We would clear the land, Dad would cut the trees. We'd be there with him, helping him. But wherever we went to, all those farms around Pingelly, we would catch the bus to school. I went to 10 schools in my life, 10 schools, and we all hated it. Kids called us names and everything on the school bus, but we had to put up with it, and we did. And when we'd get home, we'd go out in the bush. Our parents taught us to hunt for kangaroos and rabbits. We learned how to hunt. We learned how to skin them and cut them up, you know. So I lived through that as a child in Pingelly. And like all the other families, it was just a matter of are we going to survive or not. So I really am thankful that my grandfather saw that there must be something better for us somewhere else, so let's go back down, come back down to his country. Dad worked around Pingelly, Brookton, Boddington, Beverley, all around those places. I guess with Dad, being a part of the stolen generation was wanting to keep his family together wherever he went, whether it was just living in the camp in town at Pingelly or out in the bush on the farm or even at Burracup, you know, we were on private property. So there was that protection from our parents keeping us together. I've watched my older cousins and older brother get up and take on that fight for justice and equality, and I wanted to do it. So I started work and I got educated, and I just want to let our people know that if you want the best, you have to fight for it. You have to get up there and have a voice, make a stand. I have that fire in me, in the belly that's still there, and I'll fight till the fire goes out.